head track and field coach Kregg Einspahr to preview the rapidly approaching season here. Start off by telling me a little bit about last year's indoor season. The women were 29th at national championships and the men were 38th.
Yeah, that was probably one of our lower finishes that we've had in a number of years. We had two young teams. We had some injuries on the women's side of things last year, and our relays on the women's side were not quite as good as some of the years that we've had. So we are hoping to improve on that and finish this year. I think that's certainly realistic. If I recall, last year our women were fifth at the conference meet, and our men were second at the conference meet. And I think that our men's team this year might be one of the best conference teams that we've ever had. You never know until you get into the season just how things are going to shape up, really, and what other teams have and or don't have. But I think our men's team is extremely talented and probably the most balanced team we've ever had. We feel I can't think of really an area that we have much weakness in at this point. We look to be able to have scoring points in just about every event this year. Probably some of our strongest areas are in the long sprints and the hurdles this year, and that should really help us. Our throwers should be very good, and we have an excellent crew of middle distance runners. So I'm excited about that. Last year, Colin Morrissey was injured during the indoor track season, and that probably hurt us both at the conference level and the national level. During indoor track, some of our women had some injuries, and that hurt us at the conference. And of course, we bounced back from being fifth at the conference meet last year to winning the outdoor conference championship. So that's quite a turnaround. But when you look at things, one of the things that has happened is that the competitiveness at the top level of the conference has really increased. So there's not a lot of point differences now between the first and the fifth place teams, at least on the women's side of things. So a drop baton or an injured athlete or two injured athletes, if they're some big point scores, can really affect the team scoring. And so to win the conference meet, I think everybody has to be on the same page on the same day, and you really have to be there healthy and ready to go. So we're looking forward to it. I think we've got two very good teams.
Tell me a little bit about some of those individuals who you expect to score some of them.
Well, on the men's side, we've got some freshman guy throwers that we'll see if they can come around, but really our returners look to do very well. Guys like Jose Rojas and Jordan Larrington perhaps look to do well. Carson Farr in the pole vault, and in the hurdles we have a tremendous duo in Ben Hinkfoot and Jonathan Becker. They're two of the top hurdlers in the conference, and we have some freshmen that we've added to that group as well that could potentially score at the conference meet this year as well. And then on the track, Noah Smith in the short sprints and John Cartier in actually in all the sprint events look to do very well. We have Ty Pleasant back this year, and he took a year off to serve in the military, and he's back, and he's a very good sprinter as well. So I think we're going to be very good in the sprints, and the 400 should be a real strength for us. Alex Hayden has really improved tremendously over his years here at Concordia, and he could be a real factor in the 400 race. I think that Ben Sievert and Colin Morrissey on the men's side will be two of the better middle distance runners in the conference, and then we have a good strong bunch with them as well. Adam Prallo is running very well right now on the track, and he's bounced back from some health problems during cross country, and he could be a real factor in the mile and the 1,000 this year, I think.
What do you think has to happen to maximize this team's potential and to be at the top of the conference on both sides?
Well, I think that the Christmas break is important for our athletes to go home and stay in shape. We've got a long Christmas break. It's usually anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 or even 4 weeks long. There's a lot of time there for our student athletes to go home and eat a lot of pie and sit under the Christmas tree, and that's fine as long as they get out and do their workouts. But if that's all they're doing, then we've got some problems when January rolls around. And I think our athletes are quite motivated this year to come out and have a very good indoor season and be ready for that. So that's a critical factor. It falls on the athletes themselves to take responsibility for themselves in large part over Christmas break to stay in shape and do the things that they need to do to maintain their fitness levels and their skill levels that they've developed over the fall now. And other than that, I think it's just a matter of and some of it is just the fortunes of fate that sometimes determine whether or not somebody comes down with a sore leg or a sore shoulder at the wrong time of the season. And so hopefully with the kind of fall we had with strengthening exercise and so forth, that we'll avoid some of the injuries that you might see once in a while during indoor track. So I just think it's a matter of good coaching and the athletes taking care of themselves over Christmas break and being motivated to do well during the indoor season. And I think we've got two motivated teams, and they'll be